Hey there YouTube, it's Math Bowler with a video that I've been wanting to do for a while. I've been trying to find a video and I can't find a video on it. All I do is find some people who talk about it. But I want to try to remove some ink off of baseballs. So these are the two baseballs I'm looking at right now. This first one was signed by Grant Jackson, and you can see, well, you hopefully are able to see that the autograph is what you call bleeding, which is unfortunately common for a lot of these Bud Selig baseballs that were made around a certain time frame. And I'm going to try to wipe this down, and I'll eventually try to get this signed again on the sweet spot, which will not be the affected area from where I wiped on before. And before I do get signed on the sweet spot, I'll make sure it's by a player whom, you know, I don't really pay much or pay at all to get signed by. And I will take a fan to this for hours, you know, beforehand to try to dry out any of the oils or whatever would cause that. You know, all the little tricks and the things I've been reading online. But I also have this baseball here that I'm going to wipe down. Now, this one was signed, you know, you can tell it's a longer time ago because the ball itself is toned a little bit, but the blue ink, you can tell it's not fresh. And this is on a 1995 All-Star ball, which, you know, Bill Verdon didn't really have a hand in that, so I think John Smiley, a former Pirate, pitched in that game. Or, you know, I can get someone else to sign this and get signed underneath that logo right there. So it will not be in the affected area. So I'm going to do this one first. So I get a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, and I tested this out on two baseballs before. I had this 94 All-Star ball, and it does have just a little bit of discoloration in it. You know, I actually hit it. It was signed in black pen, and the black ink had faded a little bit, so it wasn't all that difficult. But that doesn't affect this area. That will not affect that area. I mean, it's not a perfectly, you know, pearl white baseball, but that came out nice. And I do believe when I hit it, I may have rubbed on the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser a little too hard on it. And then this one was a Bob Friend, where underneath he completely butchered the inscription, the Pete Rose first hit with the date on. He completely butchered the, so I actually cleaned that off, and it took 2 attempts, and it looks pretty decent. I mean, it's definitely decent enough for being presentable. I'm very, very tempted to wipe the that autograph and get something signed on the sweet spot instead, because, you know, that will not be noticeable. But I have Bob Friend's signature on a number of baseballs already, so that's tempting, though kind of seems like a jerk move to do. So I'd also love to experiment and try it on a game-used ball, because Kevin Newman side paneled this with a black Sharpie. Dag nabbit, that did not work out well at all. This is a game-used double that he had hit. So one logic is, well, wipe it, you know, clean that off, see if it comes off, and if it does, and if it leans a clean stain on it, that's okay, because he'll sign there, it'll be on the bottom, it'll be okay. You know, that in theory works, but I'm not going to do the game-used ball now. I'm going to find maybe an old game-used ball, hit it with a black Sharpie, let it sit for a couple weeks and whatnot. What I'm doing now is just showing you how to use, or how I've done it. Maybe there's a better way, but hey, people, make a video and then I, you know, give others a shot to figure this out. But so you've done this on 2 other baseballs I've shown you, that 94 All-Star ball and the Bob Friend inscription ball that turned out horrible. And you can see, like, this was a beautiful white, you know, clean pad here, but, you know, that All-Star ball was pretty dirty actually. But I got rid of the black ink. I definitely pressed too hard when I was, you know, hitting it. So there's the blue ink from the other one. So the way I see it, I think I can get 4 good uses out of this. So I hit both ends, and the ones I'm going to do today, I'm going to do one on the top here, and then for the other ball, I'll do the other side here. So just spray it with a little bit of water. Don't go crazy. I'm just going to spray this area with some water. I don't want to soak it, that's for sure. And I'm going to take this baseball. I'm going to do the Bill Verdon baseball because there's not as much to wipe down. Maybe there'll be time for me to do the other one as well, but if not, you get the idea here. So I'm going to try to clean this off, because Bill Verdon, to the best of my knowledge, not even as a coach, had no connection to the 95 All-Star game. And I'd rather get this signed by a person who played in the All-Star game, especially a former Pirate. So yeah, so I'm just going to take it, I am not really pressing down super hard on this. That seems like a very, very bad idea. I don't want to leave scuff marks. And after I'm done with this, I'm probably going to have to do this more than once, which I'm not going to show you on this video. But I'm going to also put this in front of a fan and let that try to dry out this area. I'm going to take a paper towel, wipe off some of this, because as you can see there's some shrapnel coming off from the magic eraser. You can see a little bit of watermark there, but it came out really good, and you can see on the eraser here that bluish colored ink. Actually, I'm going to spray that again. That really is not very damp. When I sprayed, I think a lot of the spray, missed this magic eraser here. So as you can see, first time through, there it is. Let's give it another shot here. Maybe circular motion's better. I don't want to press too hard and damage the surface of this ball. Try to make sure you hold the ball by the stitches, of course. I mean, I washed my hands pretty good before I started handling these baseballs, but so after this does dry off in front of the fan for a while, I will go back and look through at the baseball again, probably hit this one more time. Did I just inadvertently quote Britney Spears? Oh, I'm going to get some Britney Spears stuck in my head. She was amazing for a while. At least those of you who grew up around the time frame I did. That's almost good. I can still faintly see the name Bill Verdon. But we are getting there. Let's do that once more. Yeah, let's do this one more time here. Actually, you know what? For the sake of time, let me hit the other one. Like I said, I'm just trying to show you some of the basics here. And hey, maybe I'm going to spray the other side of this magic eraser. I'm going to hit this part now. Maybe there is a better video out there, but dagnabbit, I tried so hard to find it. So I'm going to take this clean part and start hitting this. Now this ball, is not a very good baseball in my opinion because it bled so much. And this has has that big long inscription too. But as you can see, it's starting to come off of there a little bit, but this is going to take more time. And if you're not a patient person, then maybe you should just not even try to rehab these baseballs. But I have about a half dozen baseballs. This would be like the third and fourth baseball that I want to mess around with. If it don't work out, it don't work out. But so this one's a bit more stubborn, obviously, but there's a lot more area for me to cover. So I think you're getting the idea. I don't want my videos to take way too much time, but I also want to try to show you some results here, because the other ones, the two that I did off camera when I first tried it on my own, came out really well. That Bill Verdon one came out well. I'll hit it once more later. As soon as I'm done with this video, as soon as I turn off these baseballs are going in front of fans, I may have to use my other Mr. Clean Magic Eraser pad to try to mess with this one. But then again, this baseball, like I said, is bad. The autograph bled on it, which unfortunately there is some that's a common thing with some of those Bud Selig era baseballs. Yeah, this one's not coming off anywhere near as well as the others. And maybe that's a good thing to show you on video, folks. Don't try to get your hopes up too high, because I think this baseball is kind of ruined to begin with. So if the autograph wasn't holding to this very well, this leather is not really all that good. So I think this baseball, I'm going to chuck it up as a loss, which is all right by me. I got a nephew whom we will gladly play along with this baseball here. So let me try one more time here. See how that does, because I'm not that attached to this baseball. If this was an all-star ball, I would be trying very, very hard to save this. I'm now just trying to find a blank spot on the pad here to use. I don't want to press too hard on this, but this baseball is, I think, shot. So you saw the Bill Verdon one on the All-Star ball came out good. The Air 2 I used came out great. And yeah, I think maybe when you talk about baseballs that are bleeding, they're not as good to do this process with. That's my conclusion, folks. You know, if you have a baseball where it's signed in a different spot and you plan to get signed differently, you know, and the autograph itself is pretty good to begin with, fine. But I think it's safe to say, because I had two other baseballs. The inscription underneath that was destroyed. And I might hit that one more time. I might hit that a third time because you can faintly see just a little bit underneath there, but that's just personal preference. This one came out amazing. I'm going to get that signed in a different spot anyway. But, you know, once again, this one came out great. I'll hit that a second time here after I let the fan dry it off for a bit. But this one, the ball was bleeding to begin with. I think it's safe to say if you plan on doing this to a baseball that is bleeding, the baseball itself is probably no good. That's my thing. And you know what? You still have an official Rawlings Major League Baseball here. Can be nice to play, catch with, and hit around or whatever with the with maybe, you know, just for recreation purposes. So that's what's going to happen with this. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope this was very helpful to you to check out how to use the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser there on these baseballs. I'm so glad I started with this one because that one came out great just like the others, and I learned something. I do not prefer you even bother trying with a baseball that's bled. It's just it's a compromised baseball, which was common for a certain year there. You know, a certain little era it seemed like with those Bud Selig era baseballs. Okay, folks, hope you enjoyed my video. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments below. I always appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Take care, everybody.